I can't tell you how many times someone has said to me, I wish I never sold my 600. That's right, they're becoming rare. But I'm going to show you some that went up for sale this year. And I may be commenting on some of these. I may even ridicule some. Without any further delay, let's get right to it. These are the 93 600s I saw for sale in 2022. This guy down in Merced is selling his 93 for only $1,000. That's not too much. It's pretty beat up. Obviously, it could use one of those once every 10 years reset. You know, go through and fix everything up again. It's got worn out discs, bad boots, missing side covers, funny stuff all over. You just need to fix it up. $1,000, good deal. 500, even better. The 93 OHV down in Garden Grove for $1,800. That's not too bad of an asking price for a off-highway vehicle. It's got a couple things going. There's no skid plate. It looks like a good trail bike. It's got some frame guards on it. Nothing special here. It's a fair price for an OHV and a good start to make it the way you want it. He doesn't seem to have a kickstart lever on it, and I'd be suspect to this black painted area where possibly the subframe had to be re-welded. Next up is this plated 93 in LA for $2,200. It looks like it's ready to go. It at least has a skid plate, got a White Brothers pipe. It looks tidy all around. So I'd kind of feel comfortable about buying this. It's in the going range. And it's ready to haul ass down dirt roads. The 1993 in New Brunswick for $26.95. Well, it's all right. It's an off-highway vehicle, and it shows a lot of wear there, like somebody's really been hitting the trails with it. You can see it has dents in the frame down there because they don't have a skid plate on it. They've been taking it across some pretty rocky stuff. Had to replace their front rim. But it's got the IMS tank, the Mayer front fender. It's got an FMF power core. It looks fairly upkept and like a viable trail bike. It's in for sale in some kind of dealership or repair shop. Up for sale in 2022 is this 93 out of Los Angeles for $4,200. Now, I don't really know the story on this at all. I'll say one thing, you can't get your money out of a bike you put together and put too much money into. I think this is part of a fad where you strip a bike down and make it like a hooligan machine that you can go tearing up the city with. But this one really just amounts to remove all the original parts and put on some metal parts from an older era, like 70s dirt bike. And they didn't like go through and remove all the tabs on the frame or do any of these customizing things. They just pretty much slapped on a bunch of other stuff. But it's done with a vision that is like one of a kind to the owner. And I don't really agree with the seat and that rear pouch. So it looks like a bike that was put together with the ultimate care. Stripping it down, painting the frame. You can't get your money out of a bike that you've put too much money into. And so I don't think he's gonna be successful at getting $4,200 out of it. I gotta say, I know there's people out there that like a bike set up this way. So if you like this bike, leave your comments down below. Somebody put up a 93 in San Diego for $3,000. It's got a license plate on it. And you can see it's got period aftermarket parts to make it street legal. Older Baja Designs kit, IMS tank. It's got the UFO fender. He's put a fender brace on that front fender. It's got a Mega Max muffler. He's got the frame guards, but he doesn't have a skid plate. He's got those OEM fork gators all twisted up. Here's a 93 out of Sunnyvale for $4,600. He's got the Supermoto package all put together. It looks like it was tastefully done, and he's put in a lot more money than he's asking for. He's got the 17-inch Supermoto wheels and the large diameter front disc and a White Brothers pipe with a high flow header. He's gone and stripped it down to nothing and put it back together with a red frame and black plastic, and it's nicely done. If this is the kind of bike you want, it's kind of a good deal because he's got to sell it for what the market will bear, regardless how much he put into it. Take a look at the 1994 600s. Coming up next is the 1994s that were for sale in 2022. First off is the 94 out of Los Angeles for $4,000. It's plated, so that raises the price of it, but it's not all $4,000 worth. It looks well used. It's not all that clean and shiny. It's got an old 80s front fender on it. Seat looks like it's ripped. No tail bag. It doesn't have a headlight that'll get you through the night. It's just kind of a standard dirt bike with a plate. And I think this one's worth $2,500. If you're looking for an OHV, there's a 94 in Sonora for only $2,000. That's not too bad. It's a pretty stock bike. High capacity IMS gas tank, seat cover on there. But everything else is pretty much stock. Got some brush guards. Somebody wanted to make it look more modern, so they have sculpted the front fender. This is the 1994 they were trying to sell down in Scott Valley for $2,800. Not too bad because it appears to be street legal license, although they don't show that with the pictures. It's got the turn signals. It's got somebody put on buddy pegs. It looks well used and just period piece upgrades. Has a skid plate, for instance. Still has the OEM gators on the forks and the OEM gas tank. So it's just been somebody's bike and they've used it for a lot of trips. If it's got a plate, it's worth $2,800. You can turn around and fix it up the way you want. You've got one up for sale down in Ventura, a 94 for $3,100. It is street legal license, so that's right in the range. And it looks like it was well cared for. It doesn't look like it has a whole lot of loose ends on it. It's got the old super trap on there. Doesn't have a nighttime headlight, but it's a dirt bike. It doesn't have a bunch of junk on it. A street legal dirt bike without a skid plate. There was a lot of 1995 xr600r's for sale in 2022. We've got a 95 in Watsonville for $4,500. He's got it set up to be a rally adventure bike, so it's good for high-speed roads, desert. He doesn't even put a skid plate on it for that. But it is nicely set up. On the dashboard, you've got your digital odometer, speedometer, your GPS mount, your power supply, some other gauges there. It's got the IMS oversized tank, new modern style fenders, LED headlight. It's got a GPR steering stabilizer and fat bars, little windshield there and everything. So this can really go high speed over the desert, and if it's the kind of bike you want, maybe you would get this one because it's already put together. But otherwise, it's really at the top of the limit I would pay for an xr600r. A 95 came up for sale in Sun River for $5,500. That's an awful lot. I guess he's going off of the fact that this is like an unmolested true survivor. But still, it's just an off-road vehicle. You can't take it on the street. And it's in such good shape, you kind of hate to mess it up out on the trail. But it is what it is, and he's trying to sell it for $55,000. Next up is this 95 in Desert Hot Springs for $37.50. It's a fairly stock XR600, but somebody's welded on buddy pegs. He's got a rack for it. It's got a skid plate, so it's ready to go for the dirt, and it's got a Baja Design street lighting kit. That all makes it good. $37.50 is kind of at the high end, but it's not too high. If it's a good running bike, I'd say get it. There's a 95 in Lemon Grove for only $900. Look at the seat on that. I think he's going after the Mr. Peanuts look. This is another example of a hooligan bike. You put this together for I don't know what, jumping curbs and scaring the neighbors. It's a 1995, but it's got a 1987 motor in it. And the guy who has it said he had it running for a little while, but then he couldn't figure out the wiring. So he's given up on it. Okay, here's another fully customized one. A 1995 with a 1991 motor. He's got it for sale in Plymouth for $4,000. However, I saw this before last year for sale for $5,000. Apparently he didn't sell it and it's up for sale again. Highly modified, and it looks like there's quite a bit of craftsmanship that went into it, but he's created a bike that is for him. It's his vision of a bike, and he's having a hard time selling it. For instance, since I got this ad, I see that it's lowered $1,000. This bike's now for sale for $3,000. It's another example of putting too much money into a specialized bike. You're not going to be able to get the money out. And now he's desperately trying to sell it. It's been for sale for over a year and a half. Okay, back to normal. There's the 1995 down in Ventura for $3,500. This one shows quite a bit of boot wear on the side of the frame. He doesn't have any fork boots on there. He's got the holes drilled in the airbox to make this thing breathe better. It looks like it used to be a street legal bike, but it doesn't look up to vehicle code now. A black and white one in Anaheim for $4,000. It looks like he's got a lot of things fixed up on it, and it's ready for adventure riding on dirt roads and going across country. You know, you can see that he's had his forks redone at Patton. And he's got a custom triple clamp on top and fat bars on there. Made himself a little dashboard. It's not too elaborate. It's still basically a dirt bike with street legal license. So once again, he's probably got it way over $4,000 into it over time. But it really should only go for $3,000. Except for living in an era of inflated prices for 600s. They're getting hard to find. Hey, there's a 1995 up at Baldwin Lake for only $59.50. That's a lot. It's a street legal bike and it's clean, and I'm sure the owner's a proud owner. But he's had it up for sale before. Nobody bought it. He's selling it again. This bike is really clean. It's had all the regular upgrades, so it's ready to go, but $6,000. That 1995 in Compton for $3,500 looks to be like it's not too worn out at all. There's not much boot wear. It's fairly stock, unmolested, period piece Baja Designs kit, super trap muffler. It's all ready to go for dirt roads, street legal. Those people who are looking to buy an xr600r to fix up their way, this would be one to start with because you're starting with a blank slate on a unmolested 600. There's a 1995 in Lodi for $2,500. The owner put on an older two-piece header, and he's got the matching super trap to go with it. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's got some brush guards on it. It's got a skid plate. This is a stock dirt bike, and if the motor's a good motor, this would be one to get. It's OHV, so unfortunately, you know, in California, you're out of luck. If you see a rear fender with two holes in it like that, you're not looking at an xr600r fender. It still has the original rear sprocket. The rear disc guards get old and brittle. That one's busted up. It has the OEM front forks and headlight. Looks like a good bike for $25. With the 1995 in Palmdale for $3,000, you've got your dirt road cruiser. I just wonder about that headlight. And how this windshield works out. It looks like somebody's selling their old battle axe. It's been down many a dirt road and it's still dirty. And here you've got another 1995 for sale in Sunnyvale for $2,500. It looks like it's had a license plate on it before. It's a fairly stock dirt bike. It's got road-going tires. Can you believe it? All those 1995s for sale. Those people are going to be sorry they sold their bike. You can't get one anymore. Parts are becoming hard to get. These are the 1996 xr600r's that went up for sale in 2022. 1996 up in Tunbridge for $2,900. Kind of neat, the guy has put on an xr650L tank. And then also mix-matched in some old 87 side covers. UFO headlight. He's got the custom front fender and the stock seat. There's the 96 up in Vancouver for $3,000. It's fixed up for hauling ass down dirt roads. It's got the oversized IMS tank, Baja Designs lighting kit, custom LED headlight. It's just all set up for hauling ass down dirt roads. The 96 up in New Hampshire for $3,000 looks like a pretty good buy. He doesn't have a skid plate, but he's got the aftermarket muffler, Baja Design street legal kit, bare minimum street legal stuff. The only thing is, I'd be wondering what happened down here at the kickstand. It looks like they busted it off and it's grinding something funny there at the chain slider. Now the 96 in Chino for $4,000 is set up for a whole different purpose. And I can imagine this guy's got way more than $4,000 into it. So for tearing around streets, taking mountain paved roads and all that kind of stuff, this is great. And I would think that it's a good buy if that's the way you want your bike set up. This one's already done. The 96 in Pomona for $3,000. $3,000 seems to be the going rate for a plated 600. It's got aluminum frame protectors, a skid plate. It's pretty much ready to go for hauling ass down dirt roads. That looks like an XR's only rack on the back, and I don't like the seat cover myself, but I wouldn't do it at night with that headlight. 1996 plated dirt bike in San Mateo for $3,000. It's got the skid plate, the IMS oversized tank. It's got the airbox cover holes drilled in it, and it could use a seat cover. Did you see the 96 in San Diego for $26.25? It looks like it's ready to go in service. It's got an aftermarket black front fender with a tool kit, extra bag on the back. It's had a seat cover. Still has the original tank. Got nice fork protectors, disc guards, frame protectors, skid plate, aftermarket muffler. So it's in good shape and ready to put right into service. The 96 in Shelton for $4,000 has a lot of upgrades. I'd have to say they're all to the taste of the owner. It looks like it's ready to rip. Nice rack there, and you can see they're trying to support that off of the main frame. There's the 1996 in Covina for $32. It's got the skid plate, brush guards, IMS oversized tank. It's got the rear rack. It's got the power bomb with the FMF Power Core 4 muffler. It's got the Trail Tech, Baja Designs late model kit. It's all set up and ready to go for street riding in the mountains, dirt roads, anything you want to throw at it. The 1996 out of Claremont for $3,000 looks pretty good. Here's another guy with the old earlier model two-piece header and a super trap to match. He's thrown on a seat cover and a UFO front fender, but he still has the OEM headlight, which isn't very bright. He's got it set up street legal and plated. See that extra fin there on the skid plate? That's to protect this kind of thing from happening. This 96 in Claremont is ready for the trails. It looks like we have a 1996 in Fremont for only $2,500. And it looks like it's just been gone through and has had everything touched to make it all nice and up and ready to go. With the complete plastics kit, the upside down forks and the new knobbies, it just looks ready to rip ass through the desert. Did you see the 96 in Mission Hills for $3,100? It's got the skid plate, brush guards, Baja Designs kit, XR's only rack, FMF header and power core. You're all set with this one. It's not too bad for $3,100. The 96 in San Diego has it going for only $2,750. Skid plate, IMS tank, Baja Designs kit. It's got the stuff you need to get out on the trail, do an extended ride, go exploring for the day. Unless the motor's totally blown up or something, I don't think you can go wrong for $2,750. That's the last one. That's the last 96 for 2022. However, watch for upcoming video of even more other people's xr600r's. You're going to watch for more upcoming videos about other people's xr600r's. You're going to want to keep your eyes open for the next edition of other people's xr600r's.